Welcome to Bloodthirsty Forest, where true horror comes alive through whispered stories in the woods. If you're brave enough to listen till the end, don't forget to hit subscribe, ring the bell, and share this tale. You might not sleep after tonight. It was supposed to be just a quiet weekend escape. Anna and Will, a young couple from the city, decided to rent a remote cabin deep in the Appalachian woods. No neighbors, no Wi-Fi, no distractions, just the trees, the stars, and themselves. The drive there was long. Dirt roads, fading GPS signals, and an uneasy silence settling in as the sun dipped below the trees. But they made it. The cabin was rustic but beautiful, perched near a winding creek with moss-covered stones lining the edges. The air was cool, the silence, too perfect. First night? Normal. They cooked over a fire pit, drank wine, laughed. Second day? Still normal except for the trails. The map showed only one main hiking route, a marked trail behind the cabin. But when they went exploring, they found another path. A narrow, winding footpath, no markers, just a line of broken branches and faint footprints as if someone had used it recently. "Let's see where it leads," Will said, half joking. Anna hesitated. The air here felt heavier, like the trees leaned in too close. But she followed. They walked for nearly an hour. The deeper they went, the stranger the forest seemed. Birdsong stopped. Wind no longer moved the leaves, and the path kept forking into smaller, more twisted trails, each one pulling them further from where they came. "We should go back," Anna said, gripping Will's arm. But when they turned around, there was no trail. No path, no broken branches, just forest, thick, silent, watching. They were lost. At first, they kept walking, hoping to stumble back into familiar territory. Then the shadows began to move. Not animals, not wind, just shapes, tall, thin, silent. Sometimes Anna swore she could hear breathing. Sometimes Will thought he saw someone standing between the trees, just out of focus. But when they looked again, there was nothing. Until they found it. Another cabin. Not theirs. This one was rotting, sunken into the earth like it was trying to disappear. Moss crept up the walls and the door hung from one hinge. A wooden sign dangled above it, words carved in ancient, jagged letters. "Once you enter, you are no longer yourself." Will reached for the door. Anna grabbed his hand. "Don't." But the door creaked open on its own. The door creaked open, revealing darkness, complete and unnatural. It swallowed the light behind them, as though even the sun feared entering. Inside, the air was stale and cold. Dust hung like fog in the stillness. The walls, crooked and blackened, seemed to breathe. There were no windows. "Hello?" Will's voice barely echoed. It was like the air refused to carry sound. Anna held tight to his arm. "This doesn't feel right." Then came the smell. Rot, wet wood, and something metallic like old blood. They stepped inside, drawn more by instinct than reason. The door slammed shut behind them. Will spun around, tried to open it wouldn't budge. Anna moved her flashlight over the walls. Words were scratched into the wood over and over again. She watches from the trees. "He never left. You're already part of the forest." In the corner sat a chair. Someone had been tied there recently. The ropes were fresh, blood still stained the floor beneath. Then a sound. Footsteps above them. Will pointed toward the ceiling. "There's a second floor?" But the stairs weren't visible. Only a narrow hallway leading into deeper dark. Anna whispered, "We need to get out." But the hallway was already pulling them in. The deeper they walked, the more the cabin changed. The walls stretched unnaturally. Angles bent the wrong way. The floor creaked in a rhythm, like a heartbeat. Then they saw it. A mirror. Freestanding, dusty, cracked, and in it, they weren't alone. Behind their reflection stood a tall, faceless figure. Anna spun around. No one there. She turned back to the mirror. The figure had moved closer. Will grabbed her hand. "Go, now!" They ran. But the hallway kept twisting. Doors began appearing, each opening to impossible rooms. A forest in winter. A church in ruins. A room full of crying children with no eyes. And then, a door opened into their own cabin. Part 3, the cabin that wasn't theirs. They stepped through, and everything looked the same. The dishes, the firewood, even the dent Will left in the couch cushion. But something was off. Too still, too quiet, and outside the windows no forest, just black. Anna opened the front door. There was no outside, only fog, endless, choking, moving fog. Will turned to the mirror on the wall, same spot it had always been. But their reflections were not moving with them. In the mirror they stood completely still, unmoving. Then Will's reflection slowly turned its head, smiled, and whispered. She never left. Anna backed away. What's happening, Will? Then the knocking began. 3 sharp knocks, not on the door, not on the walls, from beneath the floorboards. They froze. Then a voice, distorted, layered, like many mouths speaking as one, whispered, "You brought her with you." Anna screamed. Will grabbed a fire poker, slammed it against the floor, but the knocking continued. Faster, louder, until the floor burst open. A hand reached out, skeletal, wet, long-fingered. Will yanked Anna back as the figure rose. It had no eyes, no mouth, just a blank, stretched face, but it smelled like Anna's perfume. Then it spoke, with Anna's voice. "Why did you leave me?" Anna collapsed. No, I'm right here, I'm real." Will pulled her toward the door again. This time it opened, but outside was no longer forest or fog. It was cemetery stones, thousands. Each had their names. Anna and Will, Anna and Will, Anna and Will. All with different dates, all ending the same way, swallowed by the woods. The mirror no longer reflected anything. Anna stared into it, trembling. She waved her hand, no movement echoed back. But something else stared from the glass. A girl, like her, but faceless. Then it began to smile. Not with lips, but with a wide crack splitting its face from cheek to cheek. Crimson, unnatural. From inside that smile came Anna's own voice. "You've finally come home?" Anna stumbled back, knocking over a photo frame. When she picked it up, the photo had changed. Will was gone. She was alone in the picture, standing outside the cabin with hollow black eyes. She ran to the door. It wouldn't open. The darkness began to seep in through the cracks, the floorboards, the ceiling, alive and deliberate. Then she heard Will's voice echoing from everywhere and nowhere. "Anna, you have to remember. We're not dead, but if you stayed, you'll never leave." She turned to the mirror again. Now only darkness inside, except Will's eyes. She understood. The mirror was the gate. A final test. Stay and become one of the hollow. Or step through and face the truth. She nodded and walked into the mirror. The sensation was not like walking. It was falling, stretching, becoming. She saw everything. Their memories, their love, their arguments, Will's laughter in the snow. Then came the forest, the second cabin, the stone markers. And Will curled up in a void, unmoving. Anna rushed to him. "Will, it's me!" He looked up. His eyes were empty. Then they slowly began to glow. "You made it," he whispered. The world cracked. The void shattered. They awoke at their original cabin. Birdsong, morning sun, everything as it was. "Are we alive?" Anna whispered. Will smiled, reached over and pinched her cheek. "Feel that?" They laughed, held each other. But as they drove away, Anna looked in the rearview mirror. For a split second, she had no face. Thank you for listening to the complete tale of the Nameless Trails, a terrifying descent into a forgotten dimension where the forest remembers every step you take. If you enjoyed the journey, subscribe to Bloodthirsty Forest, hit the bell, and share this story with the bravest soul you know. Because some paths you can't walk back alone.